remember how I first heard of Biobank, but I thought it sounded a very good idea. And then I went for an examination which took several hours. It was quite interesting. And then I think I continued to hear from Biobank occasionally. There was an open meeting I went to in Manchester, which was very interesting. I got to understand a lot more about the scale of Biobank then, what was going on.
I'm a participant in Biobank, having filled in a number of papers and bits and pieces, and then I had an invitation to come to this, and I'm very much enjoying the interest and the information that we're getting.
17 Annual General Meeting. Biobank's Annual General Meeting serves several purposes. First, it provides an opportunity for the Biobank staff to give an account of how the resource is being used and what enhancements are proposed for the future. It also gives scientists who have used or are using the resource a chance to find out more about it. But thirdly, and most importantly, it's an opportunity for the participants, the biobankers as we often call them, to learn what we've done, what we're doing, and what we're planning to do with their generosity.
Thank you.
This year I went for an MRI scan. I was there for over 4 hours, did other tests as well as the MRI scan, which were also very interesting, cognitive tests, hearing tests, things like that. And then I got an invitation to come to today's open meeting, which is quite interesting, although a lot of the science that we've been hearing about this morning is beyond my understanding. But it has reinforced my understanding of the scale of Biobank, which I think is most impressive, and I'm very pleased to make a small contribution towards it.
I work at the UK CRC Tissue Directory and Coordination Centre. Our work is about supporting biobanks in helping them to find researchers to access their tissue for better research. So we're really interested in UK Biobank because it provides a model that researchers can go to and access existing samples and data, which is what we're all about as well.
I'm actually really a number rather than a name because in Biobank that's how we get classified when we are Biobank volunteers, so a very long number. And I was contacted, I can't even remember how, I think I just got a letter about 10 years ago, and I thought, well, it sounds rather fascinating because I've always wondered what kind of mix there is between genetics and environment and how I am the person I am. So I thought I'd offer my body for science. I've been ever since. I've had blood taken out of me, I've had things measured, I've answered lots of questions.
In the context of today's conference, I found it really useful just going around the room and meeting all of the participants that have been involved in the studies and hearing about their examples of how they've been involved and what their experiences have been and how they find it useful. Because often I think researchers, they study people and they study their data, but they don't often have that interpersonal contact of the whole person and what makes this medical research useful and for the future.
We have a duty to ensure.
Some of it I find frankly too scientific. I can't understand. I can understand that there's massive excitement about the state of where things have got to. What I find is really intriguing because I know I'm being analysed and a bit of me will show up as North Yorkshire, part of me will show up as Lincolnshire and possibly a bit from Scandinavia too. So I still don't know how much of me is genes and how much is environment, but more power to the project.
I think it's absolutely fascinating, and as a research project, it's amazing.
I think this conference is fantastic. I work on UK Biobank data, and coming here, listening to the sort of research that the people are doing with this fantastic data set in this brilliant venue in Manchester, it's a great conference.